case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
The sun had set on Mrs. Ziegelheim's marriage, and she turned to attorney Stephen Apollo for assistance with her divorce proceedings. Entrusting in his ability, she hoped to secure a satisfactory settlement. High on her priority was the inclusion of a tax indemnification clause and life insurance costs. However, she found herself left with an undulating feeling of discontent as she felt her divorce had been settled for less than she deserved. In a twist of compelling events, Mrs. Ziegelheim accused Apollo of negligence. She claimed that he delayed the final written settlement and failed to include her primary requests in the settlement. She was adamant that Apollo's handling of her divorce constituted malpractice, and she took to the legal battlegrounds, filing a malpractice action against him. The lower court, however, presented Apollo with a favorable ruling on all counts. To Mrs. Ziegelheim's dismay, the legal panel dismissed several of her claims against Apollo. This decision compelled her to escalate the matter to a higher court, the Supreme Court. As the matter unfurled in the eyes of the New Jersey Supreme Court, they rejected the Pennsylvania Supreme Court's stance that a dissatisfied party cannot recover from their attorney for malpractice unless proof of actual fraud solidly stands. This provided a new beacon of hope for Mrs. Ziegelheim's case. The Supreme Court ruling held that given the existence of a genuine dispute over material fact, summary judgment should not be granted. This meant that Mrs. Ziegelheim could proceed with her negligence action against Apollo, thus overturning the decision of the lower court. Despite portraying multiple shades of gray in its ruling, the Supreme Court clarified that not all dissatisfied parties to a negotiated settlement can sue for malpractice. They distinctly stated that lawyers can't be sued for failing to get the optimal outcome for clients, providing they approach the case with knowledge, skill, and diligence. Meanwhile, generalized allegations of malpractice, without specific facts to support claims of attorney incompetence, hold no ground. Taking into account all these facets, the legal dance between Ziegelheim and Apollo goes on, with the Supreme Court's judgment partially affirming, reversing, and remanding the appellate division's judgment. Apollo may have won the initial battle, but as the war rages on, it remains to be seen who will ultimately prevail.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit LSD.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.